So welcome everybody to the Academic Success and Wellbeing at Queen's webinar. My name is Ella. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the first year foundation student lead in the Student Experience Office this summer. I'm going into my 4th year at Queen's, and I'm majoring in math and minoring in computer science. So before we begin the webinar today, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge and reflect on the history of the land that Queen's University is situated on. Kingston is located on the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee Indigenous peoples, and my intention in acknowledging this traditional territory is to recognize the significance for Indigenous peoples who lived and continue to live upon it, and whose practices and spiritualities are tied to the land and continue to develop in relationship to the territory and its other inhabitants today. As a settler and uninvited guest, I make an effort in my daily life to educate myself about Indigenous culture and practices by attending Indigenous-led events on campus and exploring Indigenous spaces, and I encourage all of you at home to do the same. I recently had the opportunity to take a walking tour of Indigenous spaces and art on Queen's campus and reflect about what they can tell me about Indigenous experience. A particular space that I enjoyed exploring was the Endayan Teganusadai Residence Courtyard. Features a large gathering space full of Indigenous symbolism, and in the center of the space, there's a large turtle shell, which really made me think about Turtle Island, which is the Indigenous name for the continent of North America. This space really reminds me how Indigenous teachings are typically centered on interconnection with the land, and it really encouraged me to reflect. It's very important to reflect on Indigenous history and teachings and to contribute to a more inclusive community that works towards reconciliation. If any of this is new to you, or if you'd like to learn more, I encourage you to explore the resources offered by the Office of Indigenous Initiatives, both online and on campus here at Queen's. Thank you for taking this moment to learn and reflect with me. So to give you a brief overview of the webinar today, we plan to prepare you to identify key campus resources that support your academic success and personal well-being, recognize the link between well-being and academic success, as well as gain practical strategies and tips for developing healthy habits, effectively managing stress, and maintaining focus both inside and outside the classroom. So I'm going to pass it over to our first speaker today, Kate Humphreys, who's a manager in our health promotion office. Welcome, Kate.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today. My name is Kate Humphreys, and I use she and her pronouns. And as was kindly introduced, I'm a manager here at Student Wellness Services. Joining me today in the behind the scenes are my colleagues Beth and Kaya, who is a summer student with us here in health promotion. So I'm very happy to be here today to share a little bit of information to help you prepare for your first year at Queen's. Student Wellness Services is your on-campus health and wellness service. We provide interprofessional medical, mental health, and health promotion services to Queen's University students during their studies. We help students navigate health concerns that impact their ability to learn, participate in university life, and achieve academic success. Student Wellness Services also works with our campus community to promote a culture of wellness that supports student success. So our mission and work here at Student Wellness is really to support students in the post-secondary environment, and we offer a range of services that do just that. That being said, we are not a full scope interprofessional primary care or family health team, so there are some things that we do offer and some things we don't that are unique to our environment and our work here at Queen's. So today I'm going to provide you with a little bit of information about what we offer, as well as some information that past students have told us has been really helpful as they prepare for their time at Queen's. So let's go to the next slide and we'll get started. So a few things that I always like to start with is just to let you know that you probably are coming into campus with lots of strengths and skills. You have been able to navigate your experience up to this point related to your health and well-being, and there are many things that you might find unique as you enter post-secondary. There's also many things that past students have experienced that we are here to help with. So today's presentation builds from some of those past experiences, as well as the common things that professional staff at Student Wellness Services support students with. We also regularly review our services to ensure that we have accurate and up-to-date information about the needs of Queen's students. Next slide. So we know there's lots to remember as you get started and get ready for your time at Queen's. And building on my little road trip metaphor, a really helpful thing before you get started is to know the address of somewhere that you're headed. So we strongly recommend you take a moment to take note of our website, where a lot of the information I'm talking about today can be referenced and found. And then we also have an excellent peer-led, professionally supported social media account, and we're encouraging you to follow that if that's something that you do. And we have a small contest running right now, so if you follow us in the next little bit, you can be entered to win some nice Queen's merchandise. Next slide. As you get started for your road trip or your time getting ready for your first year, there are a few things that we really encourage you to take some time to prioritize now. Firstly, if you have a primary care provider, so a family doctor or nurse practitioner that you'll be able to keep in contact with, please maintain that relationship. We don't roster people here at our clinic, so we encourage you, if it's possible, to stay in touch with that primary care provider so that you can have that great continuity of care during and then after your time at Queen's. You can still use our services here at Student Wellness Services for your needs while you're here on campus, but we find it's very beneficial to keep in touch with your primary care provider at home. We know that not everyone has that same access, and if you're coming from out of province or if you're coming from an international location, certainly we expect your needs will be different, and we certainly expect that we will be able to help you with those needs. There's a few other things on this slide I'm going to talk about specifically now, so let's go ahead to the next slide. And a really common thing that we encourage students to do is to plan ahead for any prescription medication. So if you take prescription medication, please plan on bringing a supply with you or transferring those prescriptions and making sure you have that sort of taken care of. The first few weeks on campus are pretty busy, and taking that piece of the puzzle out for yourself is really great. If you are coming internationally and you need a new prescription here in Canada, please be sure you bring the medical records that would be required to help you get that from one of our providers here at Student Wellness Services. Next slide. Similarly, your health insurance is a common question and something that you can take some time to sort out right now. It can be complicated, but it is definitely something that you can all learn and understand, and it's worth taking the time now to make sure that that detail is taken care of. So there are two types of health insurance that will be part of your time at Queen's. Your primary health insurance, which is the health insurance that's covered for Canadians under the publicly funded healthcare system for needed medical services, hospital visits, nurses, doctors, and all of our services at Student Wellness Services that are covered with the primary care are almost all covered by your primary health insurance. So you need to bring your card, your original card with you. If you're from Ontario, that's called your OHIP card. And if you're coming from another province, you bring your card from that province, and please check in because some provinces or territories have a requirement to let them know that you're leaving to study. This information is noted on our website, and it's definitely worth taking some time to review. If you're coming as an international student, you're required to enroll in the University Health Insurance Plan. This is managed through the International Center, and so please be sure you have those details sorted out. Supplementary health insurance is the second type of insurance, and this is partial coverage for things like dental, vision, and medications. You are automatically enrolled in a plan that's managed by your student government, the Alma Mater Society. This is not managed by us at Student Wellness Services, and it doesn't affect your care with us at Student Wellness. So whether you have coverage through a family, a partner, or through the student government, we don't need to know that. You can come and access the services that we provide. Next slide. So now is also a great time to find and check your immunization status and records and consider if a meningitis B vaccine is correct for you. This is not covered under the publicly funded or the childhood immunization pathway, but it is something that post-secondary students should consider. So you can talk to a family provider, your primary care provider, or you can talk to us at Student Wellness Services. Next slide. And you might have heard that I've mentioned a few times about booking appointments. So another thing that a lot of students tell us is really helpful is to figure out in advance how to book an appointment with Student Wellness Services. So we take appointments bookings by phone or in person in our office in Mitchell Hall. And we also have an online booking system that is tied to our electronic medical record called the TELUS Care Connect account. So you can set up your TELUS Care Connect account in advance of arriving at Queen's. Next slide. And that information and how to do that and why you should do that is all available on our website as well. So do take the time to have a look at that. That's a really helpful thing you can do in advance. Next slide. So some of the things that you might want to book an appointment for with us at Student Wellness Services are listed here. These are the common things that many students access care from our medical services team for. And we have both same day and pre-booked appointments. And I will say that today's webinar can't possibly cover all the nuances that come with providing a robust medical services for a broad campus population like Queen students. But if you have any questions about more complex or ongoing or chronic health conditions that you expect will require specific care from our team at Student Wellness Services, it's a good idea now to make a plan for this transition and identify what care your home provider would provide and what care Student Wellness Services could provide. Generally speaking, Student Wellness Services is happy to work with your home care provider to support that continuity of care while you're studying here at Queen's. There may be cases, though, where there are specific complex conditions or things that are best supported through some of the services in Kingston. And if that's the case, having a primary care provider provide a direct referral to some community specialists in the Kingston area is a good option as well. And if you need support or assistance with this process, you can reach out to Student Wellness Services and we can help you get started with that. Next slide. We also offer a range of mental health services for Queen students, including quick access, same day or next day support, booked appointments, and lots of really great community connection supports on campus, including some really nice therapy groups, which are professionally led and a great opportunity to connect with peers in a safe and supported environment. One of the ones I want to highlight today is a special first year program that we run every year called Navigating First Year Frenzy. And it's a really nice group and lots of students have good success learning and supporting their mental health through this program. Next slide. Health promotion, which is where my team is. We do a lot of work to help support students related to their mental health and physical health, and lots of really nice pieces that are many of which are led by students. We also offer a range of volunteer and work opportunities, and we do lots of great outreach. So please come see us during orientation week. We'll be at lots of different events if you have questions or any of the programs we run interests you. A big part too of what we do at Health Promotion is help students navigate their supports. You can go ahead, next slide, navigate and make their own well-being a priority. And so for the last few minutes here, I just want to highlight a few things that past students have told us have been really helpful as they get ready to come to Kingston. We encourage you to think about what worked well for you in high school and what new things you might like to add or try while you're here at Queen's. Next slide. So one of the things that students often say is an essential in their university journey is social connection. And some students may know others at Queen's, some may not. That's okay. It's important to try and form some connections and look at places where you can get to know new people and your authentic self. Some of those ways are listed here on the slides, and you can see as I go through these next few slides, there's a little icon of a person. Those are just some suggestions of places where you might find good social connections. So if any of those things jump out, feel free to take note of them, and you can find them on the Student Affairs website or connected through the First Year Foundations program. Next slide. So eating is a great thing to take note of as well. It's a common thing students are a bit nervous about, and that's okay. If you are going to be eating in our dining halls or on campus, we strongly suggest you connect with the campus dietitian. If you have any food allergies or any other food and dietary needs, they're really excellent support for students on campus. An easy thing you can pack as you're getting ready are a few snacks that you might enjoy that will help you just get through those first few days on campus. Next. Another way that we can kind of think about taking care of ourselves is to think about sleep and movement. And these are really critical for academic success and managing stress at university. So pack some items that might help you participate in activities that you enjoy, or that might help you adjust to a new sleep space. And our team at Health Promotion can support with peer wellness coaching appointments. As well, there's a lot of excellent supports offered through the Athletics and Recreation Center. Next slide. It's important for us at Health Promotion to also take a moment to note and give you a chance to think a little bit about substance use at university. Not everybody at Queen's chooses to use substances, and we want you to really think about staying within your limits. And if you are not ready or you don't want to use substances, you don't have to feel any pressure to do so. If you do think that substance use will be part of your journey or your time at Queen's, please take some time to think about how you can reduce the harm and some practical strategies you can do to stay safe, including taking note of where you can access naloxone kits and other services and supports we have available. One of those services that's important to note on our next slide here is the Campus Observation Room. And CORE is a non-judgmental space for students who've had too much to drink that is open during peak party times, located in one of our campus residences. You'll learn more about this when you come to campus, but it's a great support for you or any of your colleagues or peers that you might meet who might need some extra support, especially overnight. Next slide. We also want you to think about safer sex practices. And we know not all students choose to have sex. It's definitely a personal choice. For those students who are thinking that this will be part of their first year at Queen's, please take note of some of the resources we have available, including STI testing, birth control prescriptions, and supports through different pharmacies, the Student Life Center, and the Sexual Health Resource Center. Next slide. Finally, as we kind of wrap up, a brief mention on managing stress. And we really want you to think about the skills and supports that you have already as being a starting point to how you will address new stressors at your time at Queen's. Stress is certainly part of the post-secondary experience. Some stress is to be expected, but we want you to think about thriving and not just surviving your first year. Hopefully some of the things I've shared already are supportive and help you think about stress management. And there's also lots of other really great resources that you'll learn about as you arrive at Queen's. I encourage you to think about reading the Pulse newsletter, where a lot of this great information is shared regularly with students, and really thinking about how taking care of yourself helps you thrive academically. We really genuinely care about your health and well-being, and we want you to know that you can reach out if there's anything that we can support you with as you attend the university next year and throughout your journey here with us at Queen's. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me today. There's some notes here around how you can contact us, and we're certainly happy to answer any questions that you may have, both through the webinar today and also through our email. And please do think about following us on Instagram if you are on that social platform as well. So thank you so much. Congratulations and welcome to Queen's.
Thank you so much, Kate, for that meaningful insight. I'm now going to pass it over to our second speaker for today, Dr. Johanna Amos, who's an outreach manager at SASS.
Thanks, Ella. Yes, and you've already anticipated the abbreviation that we use a lot at Student Academic Success Services. We say SASS because it's a mouthful to say that over and over. So you'll probably hear me say SASS throughout this presentation. My name is Johanna, and I'm very delighted to be here. I work as a manager at SASS, and I'm really excited to welcome you all to Queen's and to tell you a little bit about the services that we offer. I'm going to give you a brief overview in this presentation, but if you have specific questions, I'm happy to try and answer them during the Q&A session at the end of this hour. But we'll also see you during orientation, and feel free to come to our office when you arrive here on campus and ask questions as well. So I think we go to the next slide. Thanks. So as you get ready to come to Queen's, this is a question you might be asking, you know, how do I become successful at university? What does it take to succeed? What are the skills and strategies that are going to be helpful in this new context? And what I want to reassure you about is that we have the answers to a lot of these questions. SASS is your Writing and Learning Support Center here at university, which means that we will work with you from the day that you arrive on campus to the time that you leave. And we also work with graduate students. So if you really love university and decide to stick around, that's an option too. But no matter what discipline you're a part of or what level you're at, we're very happy to work with you. And I also want to stress that although we do writing and learning support, sometimes people think that means you only go to us when you're stuck or in trouble, but actually anyone can benefit from getting input and feedback and talking about their learning at any time. So whether you're feeling pressure or stress, or you just have some questions, please do come and see us. And on the next slide, it'll tell you a little bit more about how we provide those services. Thanks, Ella. These are sort of the kind of modalities that we use to provide support, our online guides and tutorials. So these are on our website that you see linked at the bottom there. And this is great if you are studying maybe late at night and you have a quick question. You can use the website. Our office won't be open late at night and find answers to questions about small things like grammar questions, but also maybe questions about test prep and how to study, time management, and other topics as well. We also offer a lot of workshops, events, and other things throughout the year. Our workshop program, often we go to classes, so you might see us in a class near you sometime soon. But we also run our own workshops in-house, including a series for first-year students that's run by our upper year peer volunteers. So it's a great way to get some insight on the university experience from students who have been through it recently, but also to meet other students who might have questions like you. And our groups, I'll tell you a little bit more about in just a moment, so I'm going to leave that one for now. And then a lot of the work we do is through individual appointments around academic skills and writing. And I'll tell you more about those in a minute as well. But those are one-on-one sessions where you can get personalized support around your writing and learning. So if you go to the next slide, I think it's going to show you, this is a video, so hopefully it will play. Ella, you might have to help with that? Yes, excellent. There it goes. So just to give you sort of an overview of what our services look like on the website, because this is a great place to kind of explore a little bit more. You can book appointments, find out about our events, or do some of that online learning. So for the appointments, the site is slow to load, unfortunately, when I made this video, but through our appointments, you'll find some information about the different types of appointments we offer. So whether it's writing or booking in with our peers, academic skills, or if you have English as an additional language, you can find some basic information about what kind of things might be covered in those appointments. And then you can also link to our booking platform. So we use a platform that's called WC Online to book all of our appointments. And the first time that you come to visit us, you will have to make an account. So just make sure, and that you can even set that up now if you like. If you've got your Queensland ID, you can start doing that. And then you'll need to choose what kind of support you'd like to receive. So that's a very quick overview of appointments. And then I think we're going to go to the events calendar next. Here we go. So again, we run workshops throughout the academic year, except for in the summer. So it's a little bare right now, but we're going to flip back in time a little bit and show you a variety of things happening. Wednesday was popular this last year, apparently, but lots of different topics and types of support that are available. And then finally, I'm going to tell you just a little bit about our resources. So you can see that there. The assignment planner, I'm not going to talk about in detail, but that's a very popular one. It helps you break down an assignment into smaller, manageable steps. But you can see here lots of different topics. We have a series of interactive modules that you might want to explore, including Academics 101, if you're interested in the space of AI in university. Again, different things around writing skills that might be useful when you're working late at night. And then grammar, punctuation, and some different instructions about specific assignments. So if you encounter a new kind of assignment when you get to university, something you haven't done before and you have questions, you might find some advice there, or you can come see us in our one-to-one programs. And so this is kind of what that looks like. This is not an exhaustive list of the kinds of support we can provide, but if you're looking for help with writing, what I really want to stress is that we will work with you at any stage of the writing process. So it doesn't have to be that you're finished your draft and you just want a final set of eyes. It can be when you're in the planning stages, or again, if you get an assignment, you're not sure where to even start, you can come and talk to one of our coaches about that. I also want to stress that we don't do, we're not going to edit your paper for you, but you can bring drafts of work in progress, or even when you're on that final polish, and we'll help you build the skills to edit independently, sort of going forward over time. And then on the academic skills side, you'll see there's lots of topics that we cover. If you don't like working in groups and you need some strategies for that, you're giving a presentation, you want to work on your class discussion skills, maybe you struggle to take notes from readings or from lectures, we can help you with all of those things. And if you are studying English at the same time as you are building your skills in biology or history or whatever you come to Queen's to learn, we can provide support around that as well. So in the writing side of things, we focus on writing in English, but then in academic skills, you can talk to someone about listening, speaking, or reading in English as well. And on the next slide, I've got a little bit about our group programming. This is relatively new for us. We've been doing this the last couple of years. And so we have two groups that meet in a kind of multi-week program that are aimed at students who are neurodivergent, so with ADHD or autism. And this is for students who self-identify, so you don't need a formal diagnosis to attend these groups. And you'll get support from one of our staff, but also it's a great space to meet other students and to learn from each other and sort of crowdsource strategies for success at university. And then similarly, BioBuddies is a program that we run with the Biology 102 class, where our upper year peers lead sessions on effective study strategies that complement what you're learning in biology if you happen to be taking that course. I think you can go to the next slide. Thanks. Okay, so rather than me just telling you all of the things that you might want to know for university, I thought we'd do a little quiz. And I know this is not, I can't hear you. It's not the most interactive, and especially if you're just watching this recording later. But I do encourage you to shout out the answer at your screen if you are on your own, or if you're with some friends, a parent, a supporter, maybe compare answers, or ask your parent if they went to university, what was their experience, and does this ring true for them? So there's no grades also, so it doesn't matter how you do. So here is our first question. What's one important factor that improves students' GPA? Is it never sleeping, high school grades, going to class, or your IQ or natural intelligence? Now, hopefully you heard Kate earlier, and she mentioned how sleep is really important. So hopefully nobody chose never sleeping as their answer for this. But it might surprise you to know that we would say going to class is sort of the #1 thing that you can do to improve your grades at university, because class is the time where your professor is going to really kind of zero in on what is important for your assessments and what they want you to focus on as you work through the material. You can always study on your own, but you're going to get a lot more out of being sort of directed in that learning by your instructor and by having conversations and making connections with your peers. So that's one thing we suggest. IQ, natural intelligence, it's not insignificant, I suppose, but we know that you're clever because, you hear and you got into Queen's. So you've got that first part covered. Let's go to the next question. Yeah. Okay. So when we survey students, what do they say is the hardest thing about university? Is it the big class sizes? Is it writing the essays and labs? Is it there's nowhere to study? Or is it managing time? And for this one, depending on the person, you might answer some of these other things, but overall, what students tell us time and time again is that managing time is the trickiest part about adjusting to life at university. And that's because you have a lot more independence than you probably have had before, especially if you're coming out of high school. But the good thing is you probably developed some really great strategies and skills in your previous study experience. And so it's just about learning how to adapt that to the university setting. And that's something that we can support you with as well. Okay, so, and if you have a parent, I'm very curious if you quiz them on this, how many hours did they spend studying when they were a student, if they went to uni? So how many hours a week do we recommend you spend on each course? And that includes your class time. Is it 4 to 6, 8 to 10, 12 to 14, or 170? Hopefully no one's picking 170. I'm pretty sure that's more hours than there are in the week. But generally, if you come to SASS, we would say in the 8 to 10 range is what you should be thinking per class. And that includes class time, time spent in the lab, time you spend on your readings or assignments, group work, and other things. So it's a little bit more than a full-time job. And if you do find that you're spending sort of excessive amounts more than that on your coursework, I really encourage you to come and talk to one of our coaches, and because we can help you find sort of efficiencies or figure out maybe something else that's kind of taking up all of your time, and because it's important to find that balance, as Kate mentioned as well. Let's go to the next question. Thanks. Okay, so what is the maximum amount of time you should study in one session before you take a break? Is it 30 minutes, 50 minutes, 1.5 hours, or 25 minutes? And if you're with a group of people and everyone said something different, you're kind of right, because this is sort of a trick question. Because what we find is that it really varies from person to person. So just figuring out what's right for you is a big part of becoming a successful learner at university. But you might also find that it varies depending on what you're studying. So if you're working on a writing assignment or math questions or studying a language, those might all require different amounts of focus time and attention. So really figuring out what works for you, that's a great way to start building your schedule. Okay, so the best students know all the facts from their textbook from memory. Is this true or is this false? And again, maybe it surprises you to know that this is sort of false, and generally false, I would say. Of course, you should read your textbooks. I'm not suggesting that you don't do that, but memorizing every detail is probably impossible. So trying to take good notes and focus on the key ideas, again, going to class and kind of making those connections with what you're studying in the readings. That's really important. And then you'll often find in assessments that instructors ask you to make connections sort of beyond what you did in the textbook. So getting familiar with it, but being able to play with the concepts and the knowledge is really important too. Thanks. So students in science subjects never write reports or essays. And again, is this true or is this false? And again, this is false. And probably if you studied chemistry or biology in high school, you know this isn't true because you probably had to write a lab report at some point. And so no matter what you're studying at university, you'll probably have to write in some context at some point in time. It can look different depending on your subject and your field. Maybe you'll be writing in class, maybe you'll be writing long papers. You might have to write long or short answers on tests or exams. And again, regardless of what sort of writing context is, if it's an unfamiliar sort of thing, please do come and see us and talk to us about developing your writing in that area. We love working with students on writing and getting to hear all the different things that you're learning in class as well. And let's go next question. Thank you. So citing resources and following academic integrity rules are important at university. Is this true? Is it super important? Or is it false? Because that sounds like too much work. And hopefully you know that this is true. This is quite important. Academic integrity is a really central part of what we do at university. It's a sort of a practice that all of us, staff, students, and faculty need to abide by. And the rules here at Queen's might be different from what you've encountered previously, but you can easily become familiar with the rules. They're often outlined on your syllabus. And if you have questions, of course, our office is here to support you, but your professors and your teaching assistants will also be happy, I'm sure, to answer questions about academic integrity. And again, if you've learned sort of guidelines around this before, it's just a matter of getting familiar with the ones that are relevant here. And you might see some variation from course to course at Queen's as well, especially around things like style guide. So if you know about MLA or APA, that can vary from course to course as well. And then I think was our last question. This one, ChatGPT is a great tool to help you succeed at university. Is this true or is this false? Maybe you have some feelings about this question as well. But this one is tricky for me to give you a yes or no kind of answer as well, because obviously this is technology that's relatively new. It's also changing all the time. But what we do sort of caution around when it comes to this kind of tool is that it does have limitations. You can see that even in this image, that there's like an extra hand around the coffee cup. So those kinds of flaws that you can see in this picture generated by AI are also things that might come up if you try to use it for your learning. But the important thing to note about artificial intelligence is that at Queen's, it really depends on the course and the instructor. So check your syllabus before you use any tools. Make sure it's acceptable for both the course and for the assignment. And that's going to vary from class to class because different disciplines are going to have different expectations and learning outcomes. So for computing might be quite different, again, from like a history course or an English literature course. So really checking to make sure what your prof says is okay before you open up chat or any of these other tools is really important. And so I think that's the end of our quiz. Maybe you can keep track and figure out how you did. But if you have questions about any of that material, or you want to dive into these topics in a little bit more detail, I do want to recommend to you Academics 101, which is a sort of online university prep course put together by Student Academic Success Services. And it will be in your OnQ, so the Queen's Learning Management System, in early August, so you can start exploring it there. But we cover a variety of topics: time management at university, reading and note-taking. So all of the essential skills that you'll need to be a successful learner here at Queen's. And then the last slide, it gives you some information of how to reach out to us. Again, if you have questions, please, I'll try and get to them during the Q&A, but you can also reach out to us by email or come and see us when you arrive on campus. And then the other thing that I would encourage you to do right now, if you've got your phone handy and if you happen to be an Instagram user, to please add us, Queen's U SASS, or as one of our peer volunteers pointed out to us, it also can unfortunately be read as Queen's Use Ass, which is not great, but it's very memorable. So please add us and follow us. You'll find lots of great information about events and workshops and resources that we have. So another way to get some of that advice and tips on being successful at university. And I think that's it for me. Thank you so much for your time, and congratulations and welcome to Queen's. We look forward to meeting you in the fall.
Thank you so much, Joanna. So it's now time for the Q&A portion of this webinar. So if you have any questions, please use the Q&A feature on your screen to send in your questions, and feel free to use the anonymous feature if that makes you more comfortable as well. We're going to try and answer as many questions as we can during this time, and we also have a great team on the back end who can answer more specific questions as well. And while we're doing the Q&A, I'm going to have this list of key resources and contact information up so you can refer to it throughout. So let's start with the first question. This one is for Kate. Does Student Wellness Services offer same-day medical or mental health support? And what help is available in Kingston for someone who's experiencing an urgent situation?
Thank you. Yes, so we do offer quick access for urgent needs. So same-day booked appointments for both medical and mental health is available. And if we are not able to help, either because we're not open, if it's something that your need emerges at a time, maybe when our services are closed, then Kingston does have a robust set of services, including a really useful urgent care center at one of the Kingston Health Sciences locations called Hotel du Hospital on Brock Street. We also have a full service emergency room, and there are several walk-in services available nearby campus as well. I also like to highlight pharmacies as a good support for some minor needs. On our website, the Get Help Now area does highlight a lot of these different pieces. And certainly I always encourage you to come in to Mitchell Hall or call. So if you can't seem to find what you're looking for with the online booking, please come in and inquire and see what we can do to support you.
Amazing. Thank you, Kate. This next one is for Johanna. Do I need a referral to access writing and learning support?
Thank you. In a word, no. So sometimes people do refer students to us. We have a really close relationship with Queen's Student Accessibility Services, and we often get students referred to us through them, or your professor or your TA might suggest that you come to see us. But anyone can book at any time and of your own sort of volition and interest. Yeah, just please come check us out our website. You can come to our office if you're on campus and talk to Devin, our very friendly department assistant, and he can help get you connected to some support. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Okay, this next one is for Kate. What can I do now to get ready for coming to Kingston that's related to health and wellness?
Thank you. Yeah, so a few things that I highlighted that I think are good to sort of remember again. So one is take care of some of those little things in advance. Your prescription medications, make sure you have your health insurance sorted out. You have to bring your actual card with you or purchase UHIP if you're coming internationally. We also really encourage people to create their TELUS Healthcare Connect account in advance so you can book online. And make sure you understand your insurance, specifically your supplementary health and dental plans. And then finally, pack some things that will help you take care of yourself. So some things like self-care basics, like some small first aid items, as well as things that would help you feel good about yourself. If you like different kinds of music, you can bring your musical instruments. If you like to be active, bring your tennis racket or your running shoes or anything like that that will help you stay active and take care of yourself.
Amazing. Thank you. Okay, our next question is for Johanna. My schedule is very full and I can't book at any of the available times. What are my options?
Yeah, so this might happen. We try to schedule things at a variety of different times throughout the week, in the evenings, and sometimes on weekends. But there might be a time when that doesn't really work for you. So you do have some options. If you are working on writing, we do have a service called e-feedback where you can attach an assignment to an appointment block, and the coach will review it during that time. But you don't have to attend the appointment in person, so that's a nice way to get some writing support without actually being there. The other thing I would suggest is either reach out to us or put yourself on the waiting list. Like if appointments are full, we do try to add extra capacity when we see there are students waiting to get in. But also we try to do our best to accommodate different times and different schedules. And so if you're not seeing something that works for you, do please email our office and we will do our best to work something out and support you the best we can. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, this next question is for Kate. Can I still use student wellness services if I opt out of the AMS supplementary health insurance?
Yes, as a short answer, absolutely. So it's important that distinguishment between the primary and the supplementary health insurance. So in Ontario, your physician appointments, your nurse appointments, those are all covered by your primary health insurance, which is either your OHIP, your provincial or territorial health insurance, or your university health insurance if you're international. And the supplementary health insurance is for things like vision, dental, prescription medications. But your support that you get at Student Wellness Services is either covered by your primary health insurance or your tuition. There are a few services that we provide, like certain kinds of vaccines, for example, that might require that supplementary insurance, but definitely you can use our services. Definitely we want you to come and use us. Some people choose to opt out of the student government insurance because they're covered by a parent or a family member. Some people who have that coverage choose to keep that dual coverage so that they can claim on both plans. That's a personal choice, and that's something that you can follow the details of your particular plans through the insurance companies to sort out. But you can absolutely use our services, and please do.
Thank you, Kate. Okay, our next question is for Johanna. I'm a student with ADHD looking for academic support, but I'm not registered with accessibility services. Can I still access your supports?
Yes, absolutely. And I think actually this relates to an anonymous question in the chat as well. And Kate, you might have something to say about ADHD supports as well. So if you have ADHD, whether you've got a formal diagnosis or not, you can absolutely come to SASS. As I mentioned, we do have the ADHD Skillshare, which is a great opportunity to meet other students with similar experiences and to learn from them as well as from our professional staff. And it's a nice, community sort of space. The group is always a highlight of the week here at SASS. But you can also make an academic skills appointment. And as for anyone getting to talk to one of our academic skills specialists about how particular strategies around time management or taking notes, how do they really work and apply to you to get that personalized advice and suggestions. And a lot of students, they come to see us once, but they'll come back every few weeks. So there's also that kind of accountability mechanism, make some goals and to check in about them and say, yeah, this part worked, but this was a little bit tricky or it didn't really work for me. Like, what else can we try? And so we encourage you to build that long-time relationship with our staff as well.
Awesome. Kate, is there anything you wanted to add for this question?
Yeah, I mean, we offer a good continuity of care. So for folks who do have diagnoses and are taking medication, sometimes the best option actually is to keep seeing your provider at home and keep those prescription refills coming if that's possible. For folks coming internationally or who may not be able to do that continuity of care, we recommend that you reach out to us and please bring your medical records with you. That's a really helpful thing to do. Sometimes for these specific supports, reaching out to wellness services in advance can be helpful. When it comes to some of the skill building and health promotion supports, we're really happy to offer lots of different programs and services that support a diverse range of students, including folks with either diagnosed or symptoms or sort of maybe in the process of becoming diagnosed with different neurodiversity. So we're happy to support all students.
Awesome, thank you. This next question is for you, Kate. How can I avoid getting sick while at Queen's? What do I do if I do get sick?
Yeah, it's a great question. And one we get a lot. Certainly there's basic things that we can all, take time to pay attention to, like washing your hands before you eat, using hand sanitizer. We also know that getting enough sleep, drinking water, eating some balance of healthy foods can help. Most colds and respiratory illnesses that are common, especially in those first months in residence or in sort of communal living situations, can be self-managed. So extra rest, fluids, over-the-counter medications, which you can pack or you can pick up in a pharmacy here. Viral illnesses can't be treated with antibiotics, so there is a limit to what we can, do in terms of prescriptions. But we're also aware of some more communicable diseases that could spread in our student population, like flu or influenza and COVID. We're also paying close attention to things like measles or meningitis B, and we offer vaccines at our clinic, either for catch-ups or a fall flu shot every year that we recommend. We definitely recommend you talk to your current care providers about meningitis B. Most people don't realize that this isn't part of the standard vaccine series, certainly not in Ontario. And it is something that supplementary health insurance plans do help cover the cost of. So it's something to consider doing with that communal living. It can be a really helpful thing to think about. But yeah, it's also good to know a little bit about what to do if you do get sick and you need to miss some classes. There's a process in place on campus to do that, and taking some time now to understand what that looks like. It varies from specific groups of study. So either your program or your faculty will have a different process. Yeah, we also know it can be hard to figure out, when just to rest and recover and when you need to seek out medical care. And we do have some information on our website to help students kind of decide, is this something where I do need some immediate medical care, or is this something where I can take just some time to rest? It can be helpful for students and parents or families or supporters to review that together before they come.
Thank you, Kate. Okay, our next question is for Johanna. I want help with my writing, but I'm not sure where to start. Can I still come to a writing appointment without any particular assignment?
Yeah, and I mean, before I did this job, I was a writing coach here at SASS, and I would say some of my favorite appointments are ones where you don't even really have anything written. So no matter, I think I mentioned this in the presentation, but no matter where you are in the writing process, we can help you with that. So if you're just brainstorming or trying to generate some ideas, trying to understand the assignment instructions, sometimes that can be tricky if you're from a different writing sort of culture or context. So come talk to us. We will often do something we call it scribing. So we'll ask you a question, you talk and share some of your ideas, and we'll write down what you're saying as you say it. So you go away from an appointment with some notes, and we can kind of pull out some ideas of where you could kind of go a little bit further. So again, no matter where you are, if you're stuck or you just want someone to talk to about writing too, sometimes that's nice to brainstorm with someone else. We are happy to help with that.
Awesome. So this next question is going to be our last one just because we are running out of time. And this one is for Johanna. Can I volunteer with SASS?
Yes, maybe not the first day that you get here, but we have a very active team of peer volunteers, and those are upper year students. So we usually recruit in the winter around January for the next year. So if you have a great time and maybe you make use of some of SASS services and you think I would like to support students in this way, or you're thinking about a career maybe in education or other kinds of support, and you want to volunteer with our team, we'd be happy to hear more from you. Yeah, it's always great to have students supporting other students because you know what it's like, and you can often advise from that place of having been through it recently on your own as well. So yeah, so please watch for that in the winter.
Thank you, Johanna. Okay, thank you everybody for your questions. We do recognize that we were not able to get to everyone's, so we encourage you to visit the Student Wellness Services and Student Academic Success Services websites and get in contact with them if you have any further questions. Before you go, I want to remind you all that there are still plenty of exciting virtual events coming up this summer for incoming first-year students, parents, and supporters. On August 6th, join us for our Getting Involved at Queen's webinar. To learn more about Residents Move-In, register for our webinar on August 12th. We also have our second virtual social coming up this Sunday, August 26th, and it will be Queen's Trivia, which is super exciting. And I also want to highlight a quick opportunity to be entered into a draw for a $50 Q-Shop gift card. We have a feedback form for our webinar series, and we want to hear from all of you. All incoming students, parents, and supporters are encouraged to provide their feedback. It will only take approximately 3 minutes to complete, and it can be done using the QR code on the screen. We'll also post it as a link in the Q&A discussion section. You may complete one feedback form per student experience webinar per person. And if you're watching this as a recording, you can also complete the survey. It will close August 31st at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time, shortly after the final webinar takes place. So thank you to our presenters, Kate and Johanna, and our back-end support staff for their time this evening. And thank you to everyone at home for attending. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and hopefully we'll see you at some of our other events. Take care, everybody.